And we're clickety clack.
And we're back.
And we're back. Shteigin here. Avodah Zara. Shteigin here. Shteigin there. In free. You know, the exciting sequel to episode 1, season 6, Shteigin Therapy. Now we're no longer on that Shteig, and now we are Shteigin Therapy. And what do you know? I found a dope wiggity stigs. I got some pomegranate edibles.
Wow.
Yeah, baby, pomegranate. I took like half of it before the show, and you know, sometimes like oh, I'm not really feeling those edibles. Let me take the other half. Kablammy. But like if it happens, like at least I'll be with Schligs, you know.
We're chilling. Let's do
it. Steiging up.
Steiging thing. Let's go.
Oh. We got the Sivmeister with his name in some language. Yo, Scotty, we're just saying. Scotty Siv.
How are you?
We were just saying that I found this weed store and I went in and I got Alba, you're gonna love this. Pomegranate edibles. All right, Rabosai, where was we? Right, so we learned about Zima, and we learned how Zima was like counsel or Eitzah, right? Uncle says Eitzah's chait. And the Gemara is like, oh, we have another pasuk that talks to the Torah, right? Ifli Eitzah Higdil Toshia, Gezerah Shava from Unkelas. And everyone was like, yo, did they just bring Gezerah Shava from our Uncle Lewis? Zakdeliga Gemara. Panarabanan. We learned in
Brisa.
Nice. Tanrabanan Kishenitvisu Rebbi Elazar ben Parta, Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin. When they were caught, who were they caught by?
Maybe the Romans.
I'll give you one hint. So they were caught. The people who destroyed the Second Temple, the Shibud Malchias, they caught some of our greatest scholars, right? Now, Scotty Sivko, this is not all Roman Catholics. This is just this is the sect that conquers temples and eats children and drinks their blood, you know? Scotty was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was wearing a white shirt 5 minutes ago. I just kidding.
Well, today is the feast of St. Lucy, Martyr and Virgin, so the color of the day is red.
Oh, yo, color of the day, let's go! There's a verse in Shir Hashirim, in Song of Songs. It talks about God. It says, Dodi tzach ve'adom, dogo me'ravava. My beloved is white, clean white, and red. She is a flag amongst the multitudes, or she's special amongst the many, or whatever. We're like many. We're like there's only one Abishter. All right. Anyways, so the Romans caught 2 tremendous scholars. Amar le Rebbi Elazar ben Parta, le Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin. Rebbi Elazar ben Parta says to Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin, he says, Ashrecha, you are lucky, fortunate are you, shenit pasta al davar echad, oy li shenit pasti al chamisha devarim. So he says, you're so lucky that you were caught on one thing. Maybe that one thing is Torah. But me, I was like, Torah was only like a little bit of what I did. I don't know. I don't have to see exactly what the shot is, but that I was caught on 5 things, right? Amarle, I got caught on 5 things. Amarle Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin. So Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin says, no, Ashrecha shenitbazta al davar echad. Oili. No, Rebbi Chanina says, you got caught on one thing. I got caught on 5 things. The atan nitzo. Right? Ashrecha nitbazta al chamisha dvarim. He's like, no, you got caught on 5 things, but see what those 5 things are. So you're fortunate. The atan nitzo. And you're gonna live. I got caught on only one thing, and I'm not gonna live. I'm not gonna survive. Sha'ata, because you asakta b'Torah ubigamilas chasadim. You were learning Torah, right? Which is obviously like the greatest possible thing. And I was just learning Torah. You were learning Torah, and you were doing good deeds. You can't compare, you know. Or at least it was the other echad. Ve'enido. Shadar sagta b'Torah because Vanilla sagta b'Torah bilvad. All I did was learn Torah. Kid Rav Huna. So this story of these Tanaim who were captured by the Romans. This story makes sense according to what Rav Huna said. To Amar Rav Huna, because Rav Huna says, Kola osek b'Torah bilvad domek kemi she'ein lo Eloha.
Whoa.
Wow, right?
Yeah.
Someone who only is Isaac b'Torah, all he does is he studies Torah, but he doesn't also have good deeds along with it. Similar to someone who doesn't have a God.
Wow.
Shenemar, because it says in the pasuk, this is a pasuk in Divrei Hayamim Beis, Chronicles 2:15-3. It says, the Yamim Rabim li Yisrael, there were many days for the Israelites, the lo Eloha emes, they didn't have a true God, the lo Kohen Moreh, and they didn't Rahman al-Itzlan have a Kohen to teach them. Oy vey. Shalom, Neda. We should never know such a situation. You know, they didn't have, the pasuk says, they didn't have a Kohen to teach them the low Torah, and they didn't have Torah either. Rahman al-Itzlan, you know. So it's like Rav Huna, because Rav Huna darshans this pasuk. He says, the Yamim Rabni Israel, the lo Elohei emes. So the Gemara says, what do you mean the lo Elohei emes? Yo, Sivka, you got the pasuk in the Christian translation?
I do.
Let's go.
All right. You just want 15:3?
I want Chronicles 2:15-3. Yeah.
For a long time, Israel had no God, no priest teacher, and no law.
Okay,
Wow.
so the first problem I have with that translation is that they translate Torah as law. Torah is not law.
Wow.
Torah is Torah. You can't
That is
translate Torah, but they translate Torah as law, whatever. You know, it's a translation. It's an interpretation. Maybe it has an agenda, maybe it doesn't. But it's okay. It's okay because we're here learning the original Hebrew, right?
What's Tyra? What's
What?
Tyra? What's Tyra?
Torah. Oh, what's Torah? The Torah Kedusha. Torah is Torah is, you know, in its in like its most simple sense, it's the 5 books of Moses, right? And to condense that down to law is a misrepresentation. Torah is Torah. We've been using Torah also to say the Gemara is Torah. If because it's extrapolating the 5 books of Moses. And Rashi is Torah, and Tosfos is Torah, and the Rambam is Torah, and the Rashba is Torah, and the Shulchan Aruch is Torah. And the argument could be made that even Hasidus is Torah when they bring Psukim.
Can you throw that into the chat? I want to look it up.
Torah?
No, it's Tyra, like however you spell it, Hebrew or English, whatever.
Torah. Yeah. Just spell it.
Tyra.
It's spelled Torah. That's how you'll be able to spell it. I'm just saying it with an Ashkenazi
it is Torah.
pronunciation.
Torah and Tyra is the same.
Exactly. Torah.
Okay.
It's like the way that Ashkenazis say Torah, how Sephardi would say it. And an American would say Torah, 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 Torah. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Scotty, the first thing we teach our kids is not mama and it's not dada. The first word is Torah. And the first sentence is Torah tziva lanu Moshe, that Moses commanded us the Torah.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's in Shulchan Aruch.
That's the first word we're supposed to teach our children is Torah?
Yeah, but my dad was not makbid.
I did not
My
know
dad
that.
was not makbid. But I have a
Torah
cousin in
tziva
Meir
lanu
Sharon.
Moshe. Wow, that's so funny. I remember singing that song in preschool, bro.
Yeah, Torah tziva lanu Moshe Mora Shakihilas Yankov.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
We got a Yankov over here. We got a Yankov over here.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's Meredith. So anyway, so he says, well, what does that mean that there's no Elohei Emet, right? Implying maybe that there are Elohei Sheker, like an iPhone. The God of falsehood. I don't know. Let's see what it says. Kol ha'ozik v'Torah bilvad. Anyone who only learns Torah, dome kami she'ein lo Eloah. So he's compared to someone who doesn't have a God, right? Oh man, Schlegs, what I wouldn't do for some wiggity right now.
Gotta get
Did I
any
not
water.
take any water? Am I waterless in Wisconsin? All right, listen. I will be like our Yemenite ancestors who walked days in the desert just to get to a Torah. And they were thirsty, but they weren't even thinking about it. There's no water except for Torah. Is there what? For sure, ain't my military, right? Okay. When I got a shout out from my dad when we were in synagogue on Yom Kippur, which is like a day of fast. I would be like, Dad, I'm so thirsty, and he would say, "You want me to spit in your mouth?"
Oh.
Gross, right? I was like, "No, thank you, sir."
It's a funny dad joke.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a Yom Kippur joke from years ago. All right, anywho.
So I have a question regarding the
Yes.
other 3 books in the Pentateuch. So the first 5 books, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, are the 5 books of Moses. What are these other 3 books in the Pentateuch? Joshua, Judges, and Ruth.
So they're not in the Pentateuch because the Pentateuch means 5, right? Pent, like the Satanists have the pentagram. Penta means 5. There's only the 5 books of Moses: Joshua, Judges, Samuel, Kings, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and then the 12 minor prophets. They make up a group called the prophets, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have like other books in writing. I'm not going to go through every single one, but then you have other books in writings. But the Pentateuch, the Torah, is only those 5.
Fair enough.
So the Gemara is going to be like, wait a second. The Gemara asks a question, wait a second. Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin wasn't doing Gemilas Chasad. The Heilige Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin, the guy who had an Achsanya. Maybe it was Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, actually. Never mind. But Chanina ben Tragin, what? He didn't do any good deeds? This great rabbi of ours? Gemilas Chasadim lo asak. He didn't do Gemilas Chasadim. The Hatanya, but doesn't it state in Brisa? Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says, Oh, we're saying that Rabbi Eliezer and Yaakov didn't do Gemilas Sadim. Lo yiten adam ma'osav la'arnaki shel tzedakah, ela imken memuna alav dam chacham. So Rabbi Yaakov says that a person shouldn't give money to charity unless you have a Talmud Chacham in charge of that money.
Wow.
Yeah, like we're not like, right. We don't want to give money to charity unless there's a Torah scholar, someone who we can trust to give it out properly, maybe. Here, Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin, like Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin, Himnua who to have a meheman mi ever lo avid. So they're saying like Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin, you need someone on the level of scholar like Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin. We haven't had it yet like Rebbi Chanina ben Tragin in about 2,000 years on that level, you know. He was a Tana. But you need to have someone like him, the Gemara says, to give to that. So the Gemara is like, wait a second. So here we have the case where he's obviously, this guy is in charge, like the Gemara, using him as an example of someone in charge of the city's tzedakah, of the city's charity. Sounds like a pretty good deed to me. How are you telling me that Chanina ben Tragin didn't do Gemilas Chasadim? He didn't do good deeds. That's the Gemara's question. Answers the Gemara, no. They're giving an example. We believe him, someone believable like Chanina ben Tragin, but Ma'avid lo Avid, he wasn't actually that guy. That's the Gemara's answer. Ask Gemara, but doesn't it say what? But doesn't it say in a brayz of Hadanya, Amar lo Ma'usha Purim Nischalfu, Lib Ma'usha Tzedakah, V'chalaktim La'anim, Mi-avid avad, Kidibai lo avad. I was going to ask another question. What are you telling me that Chanina ben Tragin didn't work in Tzedakah, Hadanya, but doesn't it say in Brisa, if you have money from Purim that get mixed up with money for charity, you give it to poor people. And then it says, yeah, he did that. Lo avad. Okay, now we got to see the Rashi. We got to a dot. Shkach Rabosai. We saw the Gemara without Rashi. We pretty much understood everything except for that last line. But let's see what's clinking and clanking over here. So they caught Elazar ben Parta and Chanina ben Tragin. Elazar ben Parta says, Rabbi Chanina, you got only caught on one thing. Woe is me that I got caught on 5 things. So then Rabbi Chanina says to him, you're lucky that you got caught on 5 things. You got caught on 5 things. Rashi says 5 things. It says chamesh alilos heim shoalin alai. So the guy who got caught doing only one thing, right? They're just mad at him. They're just mad at Chanina ben Tragin just for learning Torah. But Elazar ben Parta, he has like 5 things on his rap list. He was doing Torah. He was doing good deeds. He was probably teaching. He was probably, I don't know, doing kosher meals. They had a whole laundry list of things. So he was like, yo, I'm in trouble, but you're lucky. You only have one thing that you need to make an excuse for. So he says, no, still you're better off than me because I only learned, but you also did charity. Like what Rav Huna says, that someone who only studies but doesn't actually practice and doesn't do charity, so he's similar to someone who has no God. Says Rashi, it's like when someone has no God. L'hagen alav, like no God to watch over him.
Wow.
You know, wow, indeed. Holy guys, you know, my Lulo. Rebbi Chanina Tragin was a Gabbai of Tzedakah. So Rebbi Chanina was that guy, according to the Havamim, according to what we think. Okay. Vani lo asakti ella b'Torah b'Avad, right? Like Rav Huna and Abdomen, like I don't have a God watching over me, because it says a lot of days to the Israelites without a God of truth. So what does it mean that it didn't have a God of truth? And Rashi says, what might be asking, what do you mean that you don't have a God? They don't have Torah? What do you mean they don't have Torah? What does that mean they didn't have Torah? Okay. So Rebbi Chanina, okay, so they say, the Gemara is going to ask, wait a second, but this Chanina ben Tragin guy didn't do charity? Doesn't it say in Brisa? Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, Lo yitin adam ha'osav le'arnaki shel tzedakah. A person shouldn't give his money to the purse of charity unless you have a guy who's a real scholar like Chanina ben Tragin. So they say no. He was believed, like we learned. We trusted him. It has to be trusted, a trustworthy guy like Chanina ben Tragin. But Chanina ben Tragin doesn't actually have to be the guy. Doesn't have to be the guy who's Chanina ben Tragin is not the guy who actually did charity, who did the good deed. First, I have another question. It says that if you mix up Purim money, Purim was against the Persians, you know? Scotty's like, phew, it's not the Romans. This is the Persians. And y'all, guess what? Guess what, Scotty? The Romans also plundered from the Persians. The Romans got from the Egyptians and the Greeks and the Persians, you know? In the Vatican, you can see that they have like these beautiful Persian rugs. And we're like, wow, how did those beautiful Persian rugs get into the Vatican? And they said, oh, we found them. We found them on the street.
Is that the diamond that's the heart of South Africa? That's the English scepter.
Oh, the English?
No, like the largest diamond in the world was found in South Africa, and it's like used by the English monarchs.
Yo, terrible. The English monarchs. You know, all these monarchs are in the pocket of the Vatican. We know this.
I don't know about the English, man. I don't know about the English. The English, their whole.
No, even the English, they still have a monarch, quote unquote. You know, and they all have like crosses on their flags, and they still have power, even though now we quote unquote have democracy, but it's not real. And the monarchs of yore are the global, it calls themselves globalist elite of nowadays, and they're the ones in the shadows. They pick who will be the leader, who will be a good puppet, a worthy puppet.
I think I remember hearing something about the British monarchs claim that they come from the lineage of Jesus themselves, right? That they're like the descendants of King David through Jesus, and that's part of their claim to the throne, I think.
I don't know exactly what as an American, I've never, like, I'll visit all of Europe. I may go to Scotland, but I'm not going down to Britain.
Really?
No way.
No
way. But the Anglican Church had to do with the English king wanted to divorce his wife because he couldn't have children with her or something. So he wanted to divorce her. The Pope said no. He said, all right, I'm going to start my own church.
Right.
That's how the Anglican Church started. Angliski is like how you would say in Russian English. Angliski.
Nice.
Anglican.
That's very good to know, Scotty. Thank you so much. I know about England that that Spinoza's Rebbe, Menashe ben Yisrael, who Rembrandt drew a picture of. He went to England to meet about some Israelite missions. You know, Rabbi Harry,
Got it.
Menashe ben Yisrael was going around the world, first of all, protecting his student of Spinoza from getting excommunicated. But when Menashe ben Yisrael left to England for some Israelite missions, really he was there talking to them about the Israelites, and so like that's like a prototype of a Yid, and his student was Baruch Spinoza, and when he went to England, they excommunicated Spinoza. He was protecting his student of Menashe ben Yisrael. He was going for Israelite purposes, just like our homie Harry does.
Like our ancestors were doing also.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we're in the path of our ancestors. Wait, hold on. Wait, so where were we? So they say that Mao shall burn nischalfuli b'Mao shall tzedakah. So if he mixes them, so you give them all to aniyim. So what is this money of burn? That I collect.
You're breaking up. No.
Mm.
I don't hear him.
I'm gonna message him. All right, I'll keep you posted. Think he's gonna relaunch.
All right. How's he doing? He's in that place now?
I think he's chilling. I'm not sure what the situation is exactly, but I think his phone is on, but not sure. Maybe just has bad service, so just
Could be.
see what happens.
Anyway, we got you're in Israel, he's in Cali, I'm in Jersey.
Wow, nice, man. Yeah, that's wild stuff. It's good stuff, bro. Yeah, so he was saying how the Torah is like the 5 books of Moses, and like the Gemara, which we're learning, is basically the tradition that was passed down generation to generation of how to extrapolate the text from the 5 books, meaning there's like a formulaic way. So we're back. We can't hear you. Are you on mute?
You gotta get your mic on.
Maybe you're on mute.
Mic.
It says it's connecting now. I think we can.
And where
And we're back.
And we're
10 minutes left. 10 minutes left.
Let's do this. Let's do
Let's
this.
go.
Dingity. So he said the mouths of Purim, meaning that I collected from the people of the city to hand out to the poor people to be able to make a meal on Purim. And it says in Bava Metzia, Eina ani rishai likach men ritzua l'sendalo, that the poor person is not permitted to get to buy, like it, meaning it's not just poor person money. This is money that we give to poor people specifically so they could have a meal on Sukkot, on Purim. Right? So it says nischalfuli ma'al shel tzedakah. Saying I thought that these were from tzedakah, money, I didn't realize that these were like specific charities, right? And I gave them to poor people. I gave it to all the poor people, but people gave me money for the Purim Suda. I gave that to them. For the Purim Suda. Like from my own money, says Chanina ben Tragin. As Shel Purim. I filled in the money of Purim. Lo Amrinan Mao Shalil Sudas Purim. Another gear so could be that my money I gave to Sudas Purim, Nischalfuli, that God, so I had money that I was going to use to buy a big pheasant and steak and wine for the Purim Suda. And I thought that they were tzedakah, and they got confused. They got confused with my money that I was going to give to charity. And I thought that they're all for charity, and I gave it all to charity. And I didn't go back to collect from the Arniki of tzedakah. So we see that Chanina ben Tragin. He did chesed in the end. He did a good deed. Yeah, he did some good things, but he didn't do what you said, Chanina ben Tragin. Maybe he didn't do what he's supposed to do or he needed to do. It's a pretty wild thing, but it seems like okay, fine. Like there wasn't the level of good deeds that Chanina ben Tragin did, I guess. And so they say maybe Chanina ben Tragin only got caught with one thing, meaning of course he was doing good deeds, but the Romans didn't catch him doing good deeds, and you're not going to hear him admitting it. Like, who knows if they're bugging his cell. He's like, yep, that was the only thing I did. Just that one thing. I didn't do many bad things. And that's Chanina ben Tragin being quiet about it. We got to the dot. How much time we got left?
We got 6 minutes left.
6 minutes and Shady, you're on. There's actually a Tosfos here. Elin Mamuna Alaz is Mistama Gam Mishalohaya no saying Harbe. Tosfos is like, yeah, not only did Chanina ben Tragin was he like very believable about it, but also he gave a lot of charity himself. The Gemara asks, Gemilas Chasadim lo asak, but he didn't do Gemilas Chasadim. Tema, it's a wonder. My barich mitzedakah. Why are they asking from tzedakah? Oh, Abba, you're gonna love this Chakira. Saying like this. Why are you telling me? Gemilas Chasadim? And you're saying he didn't do Gemilas Chasadim. He did Gemilas Chasadim. Of course he did. Look, he did charity. Charity and good deeds are two separate things, says the Gemara. Hello, Beis Devarim. Are they not two things? Kidarinum the Sukkah, like it says in Sukkah, Daf Mem Tesam Beis, Tzedakah La'aniyim, Gemilas Chasadim Bein La'aniyim, Bein La'ashirin. A poor person, you can give him charity, but to be kind to someone, you can do that for a poor person. You can do that for a rich person, right? Everyone needs kindness, So, Yesh Lomar answers Tosfos. You can come and answer. Demikom Magom Mashmalei Demisha Ragil Bezos Oze Hu Gam Bezos. You want to say no, it's not saying that tzedakah is itself the act of kindness that they're talking about, but if anyone who's giving tzedakah, we can know this guy does good deeds, right? But the way that we learned it, I think those questions not even a question, because the way that we learned it, we said that the Gemilas Chasadim was being in charge of all the money, and like having that headache. Today we learned about good deeds, about Torah, and about Shteigin. Y'all should heed the words of the Talmud. We should be zochet to be Talmids. We should be zochet to make Ethiopian honey beer that people refer to as meads.
I mean,
Everything we touch should be sweeter than honey and more valuable than gold. All the Torah we learn, it should be so sweet. Behar of knowledge of words in our mouth, but it doesn't stop there. It's not enough to just learn Torah. We learned today that also you gotta do gemilas chasadim. Geula is coming. We're fun and we're laughing and trucking around the world. We got kicked out of rehab for the second time on the first day, but it doesn't matter. We just sway, we just steig in the rehab said we could not fuck with your brilliance. I said thanks for letting me graduate early. I'm going to be free. I'm going to buy weed. I'm going to eat fleas. Or should I say seeds from a sunflower? I got some power from the Tyrock Kedusha. We all got it. We know that Torah and Gemilas Chasadim is the most gewaldige Sachen. And we should be Zeicha to be Mekayim in alle de ganze Platzen. Torah, Gemilas Chasadim. For example, a certain someone in this chat could give me the ukulele because he saw that I liked it. That Gemilas Chasadim is even more powerful than Torah. It's a present for the rich and a present for the poor. We all gotta go with each other because we all are one. I'll say much love and the song is done. Yo, peace and love, homies. We
That was
got
awesome.
this. Great Steig.
Great
Bye-bye.
stuff, guys. Peace.